Hello, my name is Ilyas, and I will be presenting about the introduction and discussion. Now, this project is about the East Coast Rail Link, or ECRL, which is a major railway project that connects the East Coast Peninsula Malaysia to the West Coast. Now, during the construction phase of this project, uh, a temporary structure support collapsed at one of its work site. Now, this caused several workers to be injured, and the activities had to be stopped while investigations were carried out. Now, although the structures were involved was temporary, it still needed proper engineering design and safety checks because it had to be support loads from materials, equipments, and workers during construction. Now, the case highlights the importance of engineering responsibility, where engineers must ensure that both permanent and temporary structures are safe and comply with the professional standards under the Registration of Engineers Act 1967. Thank you.
First, there was a fundamental design limit. The canopy was built to handle static load, like the weight of debris or wind pressure. But what actually hit it was a dynamic impact, a force from a skylift boom. The structure was never designed to absorb that kind of energy. Second, the structure had no redundancy. In engineering, redundancy means having a backup system so that if one part fails, the whole thing does not come down. Here, there was no alternative load path. A single load point of failure led directly to a total collapse onto the road. Third, the permit to work system failed. This was high risk work happening above a busy highway, but it was carried out without written authorization. That means none of the required safety check, like reviewing the work plan or setting up a crisis zone, ever took place. And finally, there was no engineering supervision. No qualified engineer was on site to monitor the operation. If someone with the right authority had been there, they could have seen the skylift getting too close to the canopy and stopped the work before the collision happened. Taken together, these 4 points shows that this was not just an accident, it was a breakdown in both structural design and the safety protocol that was supposed to prevent this to happen.
Hello, I'm Shahid and I will present about the ethical reasons for the ESRL temporary structure failure. So the first reason we get public safety not prioritized. It is collapse occur above a public road, which is get high risk for the drivers and pedestrians. This violates BM and IEM ethical codes, which is they must prioritize the pedestrian and also the drivers public. Also, second, we get the non-compliance with safety regulation. It must follow OSHA, Occupational Safety Hazard 1994, and DOSH rules. Also, work permits such as HIRAX and SOP may not be fully followed. So it is non-compliance. So third, we get the inadequate risk assessment, which is temporary structure need strict monitoring. The second point is the possible failure to consider machinery impact or hazard. So it can be considered whether it is possible failure, machinery or hazard. The last point is we get the ethical pressure from cost and time. The schedule is too tight that may affect the safety decision. Also, the engineers must prioritize safety over productivity. So safety over productivity, no cost over safety. Okay. So, what we can conclude in this is engineering ethics requires safety, compliance, and professional accountability to prevent such failures. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zen, and I will be presenting the recommendations and conclusion. For recommendations, all temporary structures should be designed, reviewed, and approved by registered professional engineers in accordance with the Registration of Engineers Act 1967. Structured approval procedure, including the submission of engineering drawings and design calculations, should be made compulsory. In addition, qualified engineers must provide strict site supervision and conduct regular inspection. Engineers have an ethical duty to stop any unsafe work practices, even when facing time or cost pressures. Construction personnel involved in temporary structures must also be properly trained and competent. Clear roles and responsibility should be defined to ensure accountability. In conclusion, the temporary structures collapse during the East Coast Rail Link construction shows that the temporary works are also prone to engineering failures. Non-compliance with professional and ethical standards under REA 1967 increases the safety risk and undermines public trust. By upholding ethical judgment, professional integrity, and strict site supervision, similar incidents can be prevented in the future.